So we're going to do a quick warm-up question, word problems, before we hop into doing our new lesson. All right, so I'm going to read out the word problem. This is from IXL. So it says, a carnival makes most of its money from the ring toss game and the water gun race. Last year, it pulled in $50,285 from the ring toss game and $77,776 from the water gun race. In all, how much did those two games make? All right, so who wants to share how they could solve this problem? What should you do? Is there a step that I need to do first? What do I need to do first? All right, Lauren says add. Is that the operation I need to do? I need to add all of them together? Excellent. Well, I would be adding, what two digits or which two numbers would I be adding together? So I'm gonna add, you're correct. What numbers am I adding together to get my total? Yeah, we're kind of going through step by step how to solve this problem. So I know I'm going to add, which two numbers am I adding together? All right, thank you, Malachi. Thank you, Sarah. All right, so I would be adding the 50,285, and then I would also be adding $777,776. So I would add them. This is review, just to get practice with reading word problems, because I know we don't do a whole lot of word problems, but I definitely wanted to practice doing a couple more. We're just doing addition today. Later on, we might do multiplication. So I'm going to add them all up. As a reminder, please make sure that you're lining up your digits in the correct place value. So when you add, multiply, divide, subtract, you're able to do that correctly. All right, so I'm going to add, starting in my ones place. What is 5 plus 6? This is basic math facts. Thank you. It is 11. I regroup my 1. 7 plus 8 equals what? What's 7 plus 8? These are your basic math facts. Yep, 15 plus 1 would be 16. Again, I regroup. 1 plus 2 would equal 3. What is 3 plus 7? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Regroup that 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. And then what's 1 plus 7? Excellent, excellent, thank you. 8. And then I have 7 plus 5, which would equal 12. And then I put my comma back in, and that a comma moves every 3 digits, so it'd be in between the 8 and the 0. So my total answer would be $128,061. Excellent. Now let's see if I can type in my answer, and let's see if we're correct. Oh yeah, we got it right. Great job. Again, this was just review.
Right, so after watching the video, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst lesson you've ever taught, 10 being the best lesson, where do you think this lesson fell?
I would say probably a 5. It's kind of average, nothing special, but nothing horrible. So which is great. But I definitely can see some areas that I can improve it.
What pleased you about the lesson?
I think that there was some participation, which always makes me happy that you can kind of see in the reflection of my glasses that I'm reading off the chat box. So that always makes me happy that there are kids that do reply. And so that always is well, some kids will at least try, even if they're not sure. Some kids will try. I have a very small class of now 13. At the time I had 12 in that recording, so I have 13 now, so it's a small class, so I get a couple kids that do participate, so that does make me happy. So I'm glad that it went smoothly, especially trying out that whole word problem on IXL. I've never done that one before, so glad that it did work out, especially since it was just a refresher.
What would have to change to move the lesson closer to a 10?
I think there'll be a couple of things. I think one would not just be, I think the main thing would be student participation. I think just because I'm always reading the same kids' responses over and over, it's like the same 3 or 4. And I did start implementing today a new incentive thing where, you know, after a certain amount of points, they can redeem stuff. And I'm like trying to get really cool ones because they're going to cost a lot more points. So hopefully that will help with the participation because it is the same 3 or 4 kids. And I'm like, I want to see more students trying it, even if it's challenging. I do remind them like, hey, trying is better than not trying at all. I want to see what you're thinking, because if I know everyone's thinking the same thing, okay, and it's totally like, I don't want to say totally wrong, but it's maybe the wrong direction, I can go back, okay, let me try that again. So definitely that helps me, it helps them.
Those are definitely 2 challenging things. Participation and engagement is hard in the classroom, much less virtually. And I think we all struggle with being excited about every lesson we teach. That's kind of one of the difficult things about being a teacher is we feel like we are on all day,
all
every
day.
day. What would your students be doing differently if your class was a 10?
Probably almost at least 95% of them participating, whether it is using the chat box function, whether it is like raising their hand, verbally saying it, whether it is using another platform so I can see the work, actual them doing something rather than just sitting.
How can we measure that change? You had mentioned 95%, so that's a good place to start. So what are you thinking about for data collection? Like maybe just a roster?
Yeah.
And being able to mark off like who has participated in the chat, who has worked the problem maybe on some platform that you can see?
Yeah, I definitely think that would definitely be helpful. I do have like one of those old fashioned grade books I have in my drawer, and I think definitely having a spot like divide that attendance and have the bottom half of participation. Because yeah, I use Dojo, but like of course I'm not going to constantly have it open, but having like on an actual sheet of paper saying, okay, today's Monday, how many times did so and so participate like in math? Did they solve the question? And kind of doing that, and then at the end of the day I can put it as their Dojo point so they can see it. Like having an actual rough copy, I can also keep track too, rather than, because Dojo, you have so many different things, and I'm not going to try to be too specific, like math participation, math trying out problems, that is so many, and then just having on a sheet of paper kind of, and then I can just throw it away at the end of the day or end of the week even, just kind of keeping it hard, I think definitely can be very helpful.
Teaching virtually gives you enough to click without trying to have to put in those participation points and stuff right at that time. So I think that's a great idea. So do you want that to be your goal, 95% participation?
I was hoping yeah, between 90 to 95. I mean, it is a small class, and I already have at least probably, I would say about, I might be even almost just under halfway there already. So I think the next couple weeks, definitely those like recording and just dojoing those points, I think definitely help, especially if they get to physically see it.
If you can hit that goal, would it really matter to you?
Yeah, I would be able to know how the kids are doing. I'll be able to see that they're interested in math, because sometimes you show them math and they're just like, I don't care. And I think having them try it and they're like, oh, maybe I actually like it. And I think also showing them real life application, I think will make them interested in maybe further career.
What teaching strategy can you use to hit your goal?
I would do a lot of like entrance and exit tickets, because it's entrance ticket. Okay, let's try it without my help. Let me see you trying it. See who's actually going to do it. You know, because some kids don't want to do it. Like, oh, she's not going to help me. Let me do it. Let me not do it. And then some kids are going to try it anyways because they just like trying things. And then exit tickets can definitely help me see who's doing it, who's trying, who's at least trying to participate, even if they might not finish it, at least starting on it. At the end, I can see at least, okay, well, so-and-so started doing it. Maybe they didn't have enough time, but at least they started. So that's a form of participation, a form of something, rather than nothing at all.
All right, I think that sounds like a great strategy. You know where they are coming in to the
Mhm.
class and you know where they are leaving the
Mhm.
class.